Seriously? Hey guys, and welcome to this video with me, 6+ Stevo. Now get your salt shakers ready again, because this is rumour time. This is not rumours I've heard on the grapevine. I'm not sort of passing this on to you. This is just something from what I've seen and the direction Games Workshop is going, that I strongly believe that we are going to see improvements to our shooting in the new Ork Codex, and specifically to modifiers, and how the modifiers affect orcs. In the current rule set in 40k, you get modifiers for various things, like if you advance with assault based weaponry, or if you move with standard weaponry, you get a -1 to hit modifier. Also, you've got things like flyers. You get a -1 to hit modifier when you're shooting at them. And you've got special units, probably things like Harlequins and Elder and, you know, the old pointy-eared pansies. They can be hard to hit. So there's various different things that can affect your accuracy in shooting, and so your shooting gets modified. But to the orcs in particular, this has been crippling, because it can modify to the effect that it makes it impossible for us to hit at all. So, I mean, we're hitting on 5+ anyway, most of the time, with 90% of our units. If we advance, that drops to a 6+, and then if an advancing unit is then shooting at a flyer or a unit or a character with the special rule gaining a -1 to hit modifier, then we're looking at 7+ to hit. Obviously that's not possible. So we find ourselves in a position where a lot of the time there's no point rolling those dice, because we cannot hit at all. The modifiers have hit us that badly. And think what you like, but no matter what way you look at it, that's just, it's not fair, it's not fun, and it's not, I don't believe, what Games Workshop intended with these rules. When you've got things like Space Marines and, you know, other armies that are generally hitting on 3+, 4+, it would take quite a lot of stacking modifiers to bring them to the point where they can't hit. I think it's just basically a bit of an oversight on their part in regards to orc shooting. I don't think that's quite how they intended the rules to work for us. Now, I've done a video on this before, quite a while back, called Are Hit Modifiers Hurting the Orcs? And very popular video of mine, actually, and it got quite a lot of feedback and comments and everything. Now, in that video, I suggested that the simple fix to that would be, in chapter approved, or an FAQ or something like that, to tweak the rules to just simply make it that a 6 always hits regardless of modifiers, and a 1 would always miss regardless of modifiers. And a lot of people in the comments section, you know, agreed with me and said that was a great idea. And I did equally have a lot of people who disagreed and said, for various reasons, that wouldn't work, or that it would break the game in some way, or that they shouldn't be able to hit things like flyers and things, to which, yeah, I can kind of see their point. You know, a jet shooting by, you're not likely to hit it shooting from the ground with a rifle, fair enough. But let's not forget that these modifiers affect a lot of other things, like, I don't know, Harlequin type things, Elders, you know, units with special rules that give them -1 to hit. And in those scenarios, I don't think it should be impossible for us to hit. I mean, God, even Neo in the Matrix got, you know, a few bullets chafing him at one point, with all his bullet dodging. So yeah, it divided opinion, that video, a little bit. I think the majority of people agreed with me. Certainly the majority of people agreed that something needed to be done in terms of fairness for the orcs in regards to shooting. But anyway, going forward from that video, which, by the way, if you want to watch, I will pop a little link up in the corner now. And also I will leave a link to that first video at the end of this one for you to watch. But yeah, going forward from that video, I have recently purchased Kill Team, and yeah, it's really cool. I'm looking forward to playing it. I've not played it yet, but I've been, you know, building the stuff in the box, injuring myself in the process. See my last video for information on that. But yeah, having a read through the rules here. Now, I will bring the picture up on the screen for you now to see. I took a picture of the section of the rulebook, and it's on page 30 in regards to shooting, and it reads as such. We're hit roll. To see if an attack hits the target, roll a d6 and apply the following cumulative modifiers. So we've got various modifiers here on the hit roll modifiers table. Target model is at long range, -1 to hit. Target model is obscured, -1 to hit. Each flesh wound on the attacking model is -1 to hit, and attacking model's kill team is broken, -1 to hit. Now, some of these rules that you're hearing there and seeing are from the kill team, so they don't translate over to 40k. Things like long range and flesh wound, etc., and obscured. But it's very similar kind of thing. And it then reads, if the result is equal to or greater than the attacking model's ballistic skill characteristic, then it scores a hit with the weapon it is using. If not, the attack fails and the attack sequence ends. But this is the interesting bit. An unmodified hit roll of 1 always fails, and an unmodified hit roll of 6 always hits. That is beautiful. Such a simple, in one sentence, they fixed it. They fixed it completely. Now, I know what some people are going to say, that in Kill Team and looking at that hit roll modifiers, there are a lot more modifiers in this. Armies are going to be hit by modifiers, a lot more in this than they are in full games of 40k, because you've got a lot more things that can modify your shooting. So some people may argue, yeah, but in Kill Team they had to put that because of the amount of modifiers. That won't necessarily translate over to 40k. I disagree completely. Yes, there are more modifiers in Kill Team than there is to regular games of 40k, but I completely disagree that that rule would not translate over to full 40k perfectly with little to no issue. I really believe that. I don't see it causing huge issues to the game. So yeah, that is really cool to see in Kill Team. And what we do see from Games Workshop quite a lot is in their sort of supplements and other games and things, when they bring out these things, and these things can quite often be a bit of a testing ground for trialing various rules and various changes and things over to the full game. Now, this has raised my hope massively of seeing this in a future edition of Chapter Approved. Bringing this rule into 40k would solve the problem in terms of modifiers for the orcs instantly, and probably some other armies as well. I think nearly all armies have very few units that have ballistic skill as low as the orcs. There probably is a few, but certainly not in the whole army like we get with the orcs. But yeah, so there's probably other factions that will benefit from this rule as well. But I just think that's just such a simple rule, and it fixes it so easily. But why, reading this, have I come to the conclusion that they're going to fix that in the Ork Codex? It's a bit of a jump to go from reading that to coming out with the rumour that they're going to fix modifiers for orcs in the new codex. Well, The reason I've come to that conclusion is from reading on the Warhammer community site. I can't remember exactly what the article was called. It was 101 rules of kill team or something like that anyway. And in that it goes over various rules and various parts of the game and talks about it. And in one section it talks about shooting and modifiers and how that affects your units in the games of kill team. But the bit that caught my interest is this bit, and I'll bring it up on the screen for you now. And it says, "Worry not, orcs. An unmodified hit roll of 6 is always a hit, regardless of cover, stealth fields, camo cloaks, or what have you. So you'll be able to solve any deficiencies with maximum DACA, or just burners." So yeah, burners are always a cool way to fix that. But what I like about this is that they specifically mention the orcs, and this goes to show that Games Workshop are aware of the issue. They've been listening. They've been listening to orc players. I'm sure they've come across this issue in tournaments and things that they run, and they've listened to the community, as they're much better at doing now. And they've seen and they've heard orc players saying, look, when we're playing games against various armies and we literally can't hit them at all, surely that is not fair. And so I really like the fact that they specifically mention the orcs. Worry not, orcs. An unmodified hit roll of 6 is always a hit. So that little paragraph that they wrote on the Warhammer community article there leads me to believe that they are going to address this in the Ork Codex, and they're going to give us some sort of special rule that will say something very similar, and possibly in the future bring that out into the chapter approved or an FAQ or something to tweak the rules to 8th edition 40k, so it affects other factions as well. But it's certainly the orcs that are suffering the most from these modifiers and stacking modifiers. So that won't solve orc shooting issues completely. We still have other issues. We've got overpriced guns. We generally have, overpriced guns. That's what I'm going to say, really. I've gone over that in various videos before. We pay too much points for our guns for the simple fact that we barely ever hit with them. We need price drops. We need more shots. And we need to be able to always hit on a 6 regardless of modifiers. We do not need to be more accurate though. Any orc players out there that are saying on commenting on videos or on forums saying, oh, orcs should they should be hitting on 4+. No, they shouldn't. They just shouldn't. It's not just about making them better. You do have to do things to make them competitive, but you still have to maintain the fluff and the lore. And orcs should be inaccurate. They should be. So I've got no issue with the 5+ ballistic skill. That should remain. But give us a lot more DACA. If we're going to miss with most of our shots, let us fire so many fucking shots that something hits. And let us shoot so that we actually stand a chance at hitting. That we can. There's actually a purpose to picking up them dice and rolling them. Don't make it so we don't even bother picking up the dice, because that's just not fair and it's not fun. But yeah, anyway guys, that's the end of my video, rumour video. I don't know if maybe I'm reading too much into this. Maybe I'm just putting two and two together and coming up with 5, like any good war boss would do. But what do you guys think? Do you think I'm onto something here? Do you think this is going to happen? Will it be the end of impossible to hit units? I bloody hope so. But anyway guys, I'm going to get off now. Share your thoughts below. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. This is 6+ Stevo, signing out.